Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory podcast with Tad and Will here to bring you all exclusive content and coverage of all 32 teams in the NFL. And when we say all 32 teams, we really do mean all 32 teams. So let's bring you the Raiders and the Rams. The Rams won this game on a count of 20-15. And, honestly, the Las Vegas Raiders are certainly in a stage of disarray right now as a franchise. And I mean, for the Rams, it hasn't been too hot of a season either for them, as they also have had their struggles. Matthew Stafford, not a super flashy game, but this was kind of like one of those weird games where like the stats don't really show it, but like still nonetheless, you figure, he was able to lead an offense, go out there and show veteran leadership and, obviously they didn't score in the fourth quarter, but, still nonetheless, you kept your team composed. You kept your offense composed enough. So I honestly think this game kind of spoke to more of how things were just really spiraling quickly out of control for Las Vegas. I mean, you did bring in Aidan O'Connell, too, in relief late in this game after Gardner Minshew's 3 interceptions. Kyron Williams, though, 21 carries, 76 yards, 2 TDs. And, Tad, I would like to just really quickly ask you, where would you rank Kyron Williams amongst running backs in the NFL?
I mean, Kyron Williams had a breakout season a year ago, and it looks like he's back. He's Kyron flipping Williams. He goes into the end zone. He does his thing. Definitely an upper tier running back, showing his worth. And I mean, he scored the 2 touchdowns they had, so a big effort for him. Without him, they probably lose this football game. So he did what he did to help lead the offense, and he was the difference. I mean, he was the only player in the game to score a touchdown. All of the Raiders' points were the 5 field goals from Daniel Carlson. So
Daniel Carlson to me is he's a solid enough NFL kicker.
He is. He does his job.
I mean, the 2-5 record isn't his fault.
No, definitely not. Just a lot of issues there for the Raiders. I mean, there's a lot of places you can point fingers.
To me, it's just like, I don't know, the Rams, it's like, they're kind of like, I'm not as concerned about them as a franchise as I am the Raiders. I mean, where's this thing going for the Raiders? Yeah, I mean, you don't have Devontae Adams anymore, and your quarterback situation is very unstable.
Yeah, especially with the injury now to O'Connell, that'll have him out for 4 to 6 weeks.
There's really no stability on the offensive or the defensive side of the ball. And I mean, we started to think what we did about Antonio Pierce last season, but now here we are with this current state. So, for me, it's just like you kind of need to start from square one again. It's just you're taking this by a literal, week by week basis. I mean, a very brutal loss in, this week for Las Vegas. And it doesn't get any easier for them, Tad, as they
really doesn't.
The 6-0 Chiefs next week.
Yeah, just a brutal season so far for the Raiders. I mean, the one bright spot is the play of promising rookie tight end Brock Bowers, but other than that, they're just it's hard to find a lot of positives. I mean, your quarterback just keeps turning the ball over, Gardner Minshew, with the 3 interceptions and a lost fumble. I mean, that's just not a way to win a close football game. If you turn the ball over 4 times, you're not going to win a lot of football games.
You're definitely not. So, but for the Rams, you're 2-4 after starting 1-4, a win that you needed as a team to compete.
For sure. And they got a lot of things starting to turn right for this team. Cooper Kupp is going to be back possibly as soon as this week. Puka Nacua is on the mend. Your offensive line is getting healthier. Your defense is getting healthier. So this is a team that could definitely it's feasible to see that they could turn it around if things work out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, also shout out to some defensive guys like Quentin Lake. He had 7 tackles. Cameron Curl. You even had guys like Jared Verse with a very big tackle for loss. And but really the player that stood out to me the most had when I look at this Rams defense, and I mean seeing it live in action too, was the stellar play of Kobe Durant. And yeah, Tad, I just, I mean, to me, he was a very versatile playmaker, very athletic, made very dynamic plays. Just played with some really good intensity on the defensive side of the ball there. And where would you rank Kobe Durant amongst corners in the NBA? I guess with cornerbacks, amongst cornerbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, Kobe Durant, the third year player.
Why it flipped up because the name and everything. I mean,
Kobe Durant, the third year player out of South Carolina State, playing for the LA Rams and NFL football team, having a pretty respectable regular season. He picked up his first sack, his first interception of the year. So, I mean, he's still establishing himself. He's probably fair to say he's not an upper half player quite yet, but he's establishing himself in the league. He's got a lot of potential. And this is a young defense. There's some young pieces here on this Rams defense. You mentioned Jared Verse, the talented defensive lineman out of Florida State, one of the favorites for defensive rookie of the year. So there's some pieces here in this defense for sure.
Absolutely. Rams win this one 20-15. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow with the Gridiron Glory, covering all 32 teams.